You've had a wonderful career. 30 years making people laugh.
33.
33. Consistent ticket sales, selling out.
Yeah.
Well over the last 25 years, selling out shows. What is it to be consistent, to have longevity, to grow an audience? Everybody's talking about social media, grow your audience, all this stuff. But what was it then that you had that was different?
Yeah, we didn't have social media then. My comedy back then was like really clean, really Christian based.
You said you was one stand microphone. You was doing the white comedy club. So you had
yeah, doing just doing it the right way, being professional, and people like that. Because a lot of comics, I'm not knocking anybody, but it was a lot of cursing. And it was like when Def Comedy Jam came out, the language kind of really got even stronger.
Yeah.
And I just stayed away from it. And I just went in this direction. And it worked for me.
Yeah.
It really worked for me. I used to do mega churches and different. I was able to perform at a church and perform at a comedy club.
Yeah.
So keeping it clean and just trying to do it the right way, the way I was taught. Your dad had got at me a couple of times for my language. You don't need that curse. He said, if that word is not part of the joke, if that word is not helping the punchline, then why use it? And that made a lot of sense. He said, let's write your jokes out word for word. It made me write it down.
Were you writing your jokes at that time?
Yeah, I was writing the jokes at the time, but I also had to write them down word for word. Now I can just do a reference or a talking point. But back then, you were taught to write your jokes down word for word, and if that curse word is it needed? Does it help that joke? Does it make that joke funnier? Okay, no, okay, X it out. Now say it without the curse word.
Yeah.
Like we had that kind of training back then. Comedians, your dad, Carl Strong, George Wallace, they would sit you down and help you.
Yeah.
I used to have to drive comics around because the opening act used to have to pick up the headliner from the airport, and we go from city to city.
Really?
And they was in your car. So I used to open for Rita Rutner and all those comics, and they was riding in the car with you, and you get so much knowledge and information driving in a 79 Cutlass, driving up in the hills of West Virginia. Charleston, West Virginia, Bridgeport, West Virginia, driving up in the mountains in a freaking Cutlass, 79, two-door. You got to slam the door real hard. That's what the dance called.
That's it.
That's what they call
slamming the Cutlass
slamming
door.
the Cutlass door.
Yeah.
That's what Young Jock had a Cutlass. Meet me in the train. He's like, whoa, it's going down. Meet me in there. How I thought of that. Look at everybody back here trying not to laugh. Y'all can laugh, I don't care. There comes slamming the Cutlass door. That's real time. You can ask T.K. Kirkland about that. I had to drive T.K. Kirkland around.
He was the headliner when you were.
He was the headliner. We were driving through
Kirkland.
South Carolina. We went from Charlotte, North Carolina to South Carolina. TK had a couple of chicks. I was like the Christian guy. TK was a pimp back then, but we was all in the Cutlass and the AC didn't work, and it was in South Carolina, and we was on the road and it was hot. And TK trying to slam that door. If you ever see TK Kirkland, ask him about slamming the door. That was a laugh all the way from Charlotte to Columbia, and from Columbia to Atlanta, and then we had to drive to Memphis. Real talk.
Wow.